Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
Hello and welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes here on Granite Construction Night. And it just happens to be that the Granite Super Sprint cars are back. My name is Kyler Ope, and alongside of me again, Caleb Art.
Nice to be here once again as we get the ground pounding, ever loving the thrill and the thunder and lightning sprint cars to cap our evening here tonight. Going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of fun to have in advance of that. What, 5 classes on the show tonight?
Yep, 5 classes, 6 different main events. Ending the night, like you said, with the Granite Super Sprint car series. We'll have a couple of Hornet, B-main, and A-main event. 2 different figure 8 classes in store. We know we love them figure 8s here at Evergreen Speedway. And then we also got the Pro 4 Truck Series back in town. So it is definitely a packed full night.
A lot of race cars to go through, a lot of fun stories to tell, and some great racing coming up. And should be a bunch of fun. We're happy to be here, and we're happy to have you guys with us on the CW11. Let's get to her. What do you think?
Yeah, so we'll start out with the Interstate Battery Hornet B-main event. And these drivers are competing for those top 4 spots. So the top 4 drivers will have the choice to advance to the A-main or not, and we'll get to know these drivers right here.
Let's take a look. Your front row of the Hornet B feature, Dylan Frazier in the Gearhead Garage number 47. Scarlett Fisher will be next to him in the 19.
And in row number 2, we got the 64 of Deacon Postle, sponsored by Handy in the Valley Handyman Service. And to his outside, the 163 of Annika Duncan, sponsored by her parents.
Row number 3, Kenny Spear in the 38, the Dangerous Curves Photography entry. Leilani Wilson, call her Layla, the 98K. That is the J2 Racing Parts car.
And then in row number 4, we got the 14 of Austin Kramer, sponsored by Rengen Earthworks, and the 88 of Garrett Kramer, sponsored by Rengen Earthworks.
Move back to row number 5, Mike Hathaway, the Rep and Welding and Rail number 46, and Tiffany Engbaum, number 27, will start in the 10th position.
And then we got the 22 of Travis Major and the 5 of Jimmy Fox.
Finish it out with Tegan Bjornsson and Louis Bailey, the 59 and the 168.
And there is the 1 to go from head flagger John Peterson on a beautiful night here in June on this Father's Day weekend of racing action as we get ready for the first main event tonight. And I think all these drivers are getting really excited to get out there. We got a lot of drivers here in this B main event.
14 cars here for the Hornet B feature on the road course, as you got to turn right and left in our Hornet division in order to get forward and get up into the top 4 spots. That's what they're gunning for here. The top 4 is the magic number.
Yeah, and these cars have been very exciting all year long, and we've seen, I think, almost all these drivers in the A-main at one point. That's how competitive this class is. As they come off turn number 4, green flag is out. Dylan Frazier and Scarlett Fisher take them down into the hairpin.
And Frazier off to an excellent start. The 47 car, Fisher dropping back early. They make the right to left transition down the back straightaway on our 3/8 mile, and you can see them 3 wide all over the place back in the pack early.
Yeah, Annika Duncan and Deacon Postle took full advantage of the little hiccup from Scarlett Fisher going down turn number 1. They take over 2nd and 3rd place, battling side by side off the corner, but it looks like it's going to be Deacon Postle right there in 2nd place.
Yeah, Postle's moving early. You can see him in the blue with red number 64 car, and he is definitely closing the gap on Frazier. A lot of laps here, 19 laps to go, 20 lap distance overall, and we got a challenge for 2nd.
Yeah, a huge run from Annika Duncan right there in the 163. That little gray car is flying as she continues. She's able to completely make the pass off Postle coming off turn number 4. But it's a tight 3-car battle as they come down to this little intersection right here.
Right as I was starting to say good things about Postle, there is Duncan like she was shot out of a cannon, and she's got to look to the inside of Frazier down the back straightaway. We got a new leader early in this B main. Annika Duncan is flying.
Yeah, tons of momentum from that gray 163. Making it look easy out there is the young Annika Duncan, as it is a little bit of a 4-car breakaway at the front of the pack. Scarlett Fisher, she's got her momentum rolling now as she's able to catch back up to these 3 drivers in front of her. As a little bit of bumper tag there from Postle and Frazier, they're almost going to kill each other's momentum and really let Annika Duncan check out right there.
Yeah, a little agricultural racing there out of Frazier. Had to, make it Postle, who had to go down into the green grass coming off the left-hand turn. It allows Duncan to break away. Like you said, your top 4 on a breakaway, and that's everything that they want to see for potential transfer positions. We'll cover that a little bit more as we get further into the race, but just because you finish in the top 4 doesn't necessarily mean you're going on to the A-main tonight.
Yeah, like say you have a little bit of trouble getting to that top 4 spot in the A-main event, or maybe you're just wore out from that, or from the B-main event, and maybe you're just wore out from racing that hard, and then you just choose to save your stuff for the next week, take home that trophy, and opt not to advance on. But right here, young Annika Duncan, just 15 years old right there, hanging on to that first spot. And Scarlett Fisher, also 15 years old. So we got a couple of young 15-year-old girls in the top 4 looking to hopefully go into the A feature later on tonight.
Annika Duncan running a race car that's older than she is at this point in time. A 1996 Acura Integra is what she's got wheeling around the track, and now she has opened it up big time. Postle had gotten by Frazier for second, but they're all losing touch with the 15-year-old.
Yeah, these B main events are great for these younger drivers just to get out there, log laps, lead some laps too. That's big for their confidence moving forward. As we hope to see these drivers maybe buy a mini stock in a few years or move on to the street stocks or legends, move on to other classes here at Evergreen Speedway. It is such a great feeder class for these young 15-year-old, 16-year-old drivers.
Talking about the youth that's up in that top 4 right now between the two young ladies and Duncan and Fisher, who are running 1 and 4. Fisher running a car that's even older than she is, a 1990 entry for Fisher, also an Acura Integra. As you can see, a lot of Acura Integras here in the Hornet field. Seems to be the preferred car amongst this division.
Oh yeah, very popular car. Tons of them in circulation, I'm sure, in a few of the junkyards around the state. So it's easy to get your hands on these cars and very easy to turn into a very competitive race car very quickly. So not a whole lot of work needing to get done as we're going to go a little bit farther back in the pack. Looks like that would be the 98 and the 14 battling just outside the top 5.
Leilani Wilson, Layla, and Austin Kramer, 2 cars going after it as we got a car pulling off and onto the backstretch and calling it a race just a little bit early.
As we're going to go back to that battle right there, like you said, with Kramer, just trying to get around Leilani, trying to build up that momentum, read her line a little bit, figure out where he might be stronger than her. As they continue to battle, we're going to go back up to the front. Annika Duncan still with a comfortable lead over Deacon Postle. Not really much happening with these top 4 drivers.
Race for 4th has closed a little bit as you just saw 4th place lose your picture coming in there in Fisher. Your top 3, nice, comfortable distance, long ways away from anybody else. And looks like Fisher made a pretty good set of corners there to create a little more breathing room between her and drivers trying to knock her out of the top 4.
Yeah, Annika Duncan right here just keeping her line nice and steady, hitting her marks, not really too focused on Deacon behind her. It's just a very good time for a young driver to get out there, like I said earlier, just log some laps, get a lot more confidence in the car, and hopefully be able to start leading some laps in an A feature not too many weeks out from now.
That's right, freewheeling and rocking and rolling here is Annika Duncan, who is under halfway at this point in time. So Duncan continues to clip them off, 9 to go, and just expanding that lead, having a nice casual stroll in the Hornet B feature. Postle, Frazier, and Fisher continuing to run 1 through 4 as field's pretty well strung out, single file in a lot of ways, and not something we've seen a whole lot in the Hornet division. Usually somebody's having problems getting through the intersection, making the weight transfer and transition, but looks like everybody navigating it quite nicely. Yeah,
the 15-year-old out front making it look really easy. Like you said, it's a very tricky track, even though it may not seem like it with how good these drivers are handling it today. This transition coming right here from the 3/8 mile, diving down into the X that we're about to see Annika do. It gets very tricky because you have all that right side weight on the car as you're carrying a lot of speed into there, and then you got to whoa it up and everything's just back to the left.
And then quickly a transition back around again to the back straightaway where you're turning left again and actually running uphill a little ways to get into the corner. We've seen a lot of action there on that left-hand hook onto the backstretch.
And somehow all these drivers have been able to keep it calm for the most part in this B feature as we're closing in on just 6 laps remaining here. Annika Duncan just absolutely checking out. What a great car she has today.
Bust out the stopwatch and find out what the gap is nearly a half straightaway at this point in time over Postle, Frazier, and Fisher. And we kind of see Fisher coming in and out of the picture in that bubble position, that transfer spot. That gap really narrows up once they go in through the intersection where they're making the left to right transition, but she stretches it out big time as, oh, we got trouble.
Yeah, it is the 38 of Kenny Spears. Started P5 on the race, and that's not how you want it to go. I believe that was Jimmy Fox in the 5, who might have got into him in that little tricky part going on the X like we just talked about. Things get tight very quickly. It looks like also the 59 of Tegan Bornson stopped there in the infield. Looks like he might just call it there, find a nice safe spot to watch the rest of the race from the infield, right? there by the North Pole.
Well, we got a battle. At least something to watch here is, once again, it's Wilson and Kramer, I believe, that we're looking at as they're heading down back straightaway. Once again, that's a wide corner, and that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, Jimmy Fox in the 5 got into that Uke tire going into that right-hander in the infield and popped it up on 3 wheels for a second, then came back up into the 168 of Louis Bailey, and that all happened right in front of Annika Duncan, but she's able to get through it nice and clean. It's rare to see lap traffic in a B feature, but your leader, your young leader, is handling it very well.
Did a good job of avoiding disaster there as a couple of lappers being a bit of a problem, as now they're starting to stack up quite nicely in there through the lower positions. We're going to watch Duncan just continue to stretch her lead and make this look very, very simple.
Yeah, almost an entire 3 and 4 corners lead over Deacon Fossil. She comes to just 2 laps remaining this time through, just hoping that everyone can keep it clean for another lap till she can see that white flag. There's that blue car at the bottom of your screen, out of the right of your screen. That is your second place. Frazier in the black and gold car is third, and Fisher still hanging on that 4th spot.
White flag will come round the corner 4 of what we would call it, down the traditional front straightaway before the left-hand turn gets made. There's the white. One more time around, Annika Duncan looking for B main glory here on Home Track Heroes, and she looks to have it well sewn up unless disaster happens.
Yeah, exactly. Disaster is what she is not looking for. She goes down the back straightaway, just needs 2 more corners to get through. The young Annika Duncan, just 15 years old, looking to get her first B main event victory, and she comes off forward and is able to handle it. Deacon Postle in the 64 second, Dylan Frazier in the 47 third.
So we're going to get a chance to talk to the drivers who choose not to advance here. Like you said, they don't have to move up into the A main, and we'll find out who wants to go to the podium with Greg Capilland, and maybe Annika Duncan wants to go there. Let's find out.
So first off, you have to tell us, is this your first place?
Yeah, actually, I mean, in B main for sure. This is insane. I did not expect this tonight.
You've had a great race season all along, and you were out in that lead early on, and nobody seemed to be able to catch you. You kind of cruised to an easy victory, if I remember right.
Yeah, I was really lucky to get a good start, but things just, all the cards laid out for me, and it ended up being a good day.
Who do you need to thank for being out here tonight, Annika?
Definitely my main sponsors being Central Welding, Tri-City Roofing, Olympic Embroidery, GDX, but I'd have to say mainly it'd be my family, my mechanic, and my crew chief for paying for everything and for fixing my car every single time. It's awesome.
So Scarlett, I remember seeing you start off in the front of the pack, but you still hung up there and you stayed around the top of the pack, getting tonight's second place victory.
Yeah, thankfully it was a really clean race, so I stayed in the front, but if I didn't start in the front, it would have been hard to keep what I did, but it was really fun.
I think this is maybe at least the second, if not the third time up here on the Angel of Winds Winter Circle for you this season?
It's the second, yeah.
Awesome, great job. All right, who do you need to thank for that 19 car being out here?
I'd like to thank Omega Pizza and Pasta, Lasting Entertainment, all my crew, especially my dad, and everyone here tonight.
So Garrett, great job. We had a couple of racers from the B main move up. You get the trophy tonight. Tell us how that third place victory feels.
It was a really good race tonight. I had a hard time trying to catch up to Scarlett at the end. I really wish I would have been able to, but I just couldn't do it.
That car, that 88 car, looks awful sharp. Tell us some of those sponsors that are helping you get out here on a Saturday.
Reagan Earthworks, Steph's Machias Espresso, Classic Chiropractic, Everett Steel, and Bourne Orthodontics.